Hello world, from whichever time zone you're catching me from, my name is MD90. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notification to all so that you do not miss the uploads that come up. And the easiest way for you to navigate the channel is to head to the playlist. You'll find videos curated for you based on your interest. So if you're interested in the Kutika podcast, you'll find a playlist for that. For news and trends, there's a playlist for that. Exclusive with MD90, a bunch of playlists that are created based on your interest. So the easiest way to navigate the channel is head straight to the playlist and you'll find what you're here for. Consider becoming a member of the channel. Right next to the subscribe button is a join button. You click on the join button so that you can become a member of the channel. You support the team on the production and a number of things that we're doing here, and we appreciate that.
Well, as you may be aware, former President Edgar Lungu's kids and wife have a number of court cases with regard to property suspected to be proceeds of crime. So not only does Tasila Lungu have court cases active, Deliso has court cases, and Esther Lungu, his wife, has court cases over the same. But one of the court cases that Tasila Lungu, the lady that you see on screen, who's also Chagwa Member of Parliament, has caught the public eye, is the one with regard to the Cinder farm. So a number of debates have been sued because of that particular farm with regard to its value and stuff like that. But as the court proceedings were going on, the state decided to seize the property, and it was in state hands. Then later on, she appealed to put an injunction on the seizure of her property so she can have it back. And they've been having a court case with regard to that seizure. Just like, as you may be aware, former First Lady Esther Lungu also, when they seized her flats, she appealed against that, and then I should think they're still having that particular court interaction, whether the state can do as they please with those flats or do something else. But as of today, this is what has happened with regard to Tasila Lungu's property, as reported by Diamond TV and other online platforms and news outlets. So they say Tasila Lungu regains 8 million cinder farm. So the Court of Appeal has ruled in favor of Tasila Lungu, daughter of former President Edgar Lungu, allowing her to reclaim 8 million kwacha farm in Cinder District, Eastern Province. The decision follows a stay judgment on the property of forfeiture to the state. The Economic and Financial Crimes Court had previously ordered that the farm's forfeiture on September 17, 2024, citing unexplained wealth. Investigations revealed that a disparity between Ms. Lungu's income and the property's value. Her lawyer, Charles Chingano, stated Judge Kelvin Muzenga, presiding over the Court of Appeal, ruled that the property retained but imposed a condition preventing the sale until the case has final determination. So that's what the judge has ruled with regard to Tasila Lungu, meaning the property goes back to Tasila Lungu, but she cannot sell it until the other court case still is finalized, whether indeed the final judgment comes up. Otherwise, as things stand right now, the state has lost that property, the cinder farm, because it was in the hands of the state when the forfeiture happened, and they could do as they pleased with it. But as things stand, the property has been retained to Tasila Lungu, but she cannot do anything with it. She cannot sell it until the other court case is disposed of. That's the update coming from the Lungu family. And then she's still in the US. I'm pretty sure she has to return to the country because Parliament is likely to open, most likely in the first week of February, if not earlier. And she said she will be back in the country when Parliament opens, because she's been summoned by the Drug Enforcement Commission, where, if you remember, they had even placed her on the wanted list. But from the time that she gave birth to her twins, she's been in the US. She'll be now like 3 months or less thereabout. So we'll wait and see how that plays out. Obviously, there are different news outlets running the same headline with Tasila Lungu. what is father, Edgar Lungu, as you may be aware, the UN is in the country conducting an investigation with regard to the human rights abuse in Zambia. And there's been a back and forth between the UPND and the Patriotic Front, and obviously with regard to the state of affairs. You can see major players in the political field are avoiding, and Edgar Lungu is one of them. So he writes direct to the rapporteur from the UN. He says, Madam Irene Khan, UN rapporteur, please take interest to watch and listen to these violent UPND thugs instructing themselves to physically arrest opposition leaders deemed a critic of the ruling party. And then he attaches a video of the UPND addressing the nation and the opposition. So the PF have been pushing that agenda, trying to send a message to the UN to say this is what is happening in the nation. Obviously, the UPND has also been doing a rebuttal to that. So he followed it up with another video of the UPND. He's done a number of these videos. That is Edgar Lungu's platform. And he says, today I want to comment on the growing malicious and vengeful punitive charges of hate speech and seditious practice against the opposition in Zambia. As you all are aware, the United Party for National Development cadres, they have set themselves above the law on hate speech and defamation. So he says most of the opposition have been arrested on charges of hate speech, but with regard to the UPND, none of them has been arrested on those charges. And then he attaches a series of videos of people who are regarded as UPND cadres there. So that's father actively in politics. And then this is just news that came also. President Hakainde Hichilema has fired Deputy Inspector General of Police for operations. So someone has been fired at State House as things stand. There's even a letter there that has been published from State House. So President Hakainde Hichilema terminates contract of employment from Mr. Mirma Muyambango. President Hichilema has terminated with immediate effect the appointment of Mr. Muyambango as Deputy Inspector General for Police in charge of operations at the Zambia Police Service. This decision is made, and then they cite the Constitution there. So pretty much the Deputy IG has been fired there by the President. And obviously, many stakeholders have weighed in with regard to that. And then Emmanuel Mwamba says, what we need are police reforms. And then he says, instead of just firing the police IG, what is needed is police reform. And then he puts up an article. So President Hakainde Hichilema fires Inspector General of Deputy Inspector General of Police in an order to please the masters. In an order to please his masters, Deputy Inspector of Police in charge of operations, Mr. Muyambango, was personally at Mungushi Conference Center and supervised and protected the illegal Patriotic Front extraordinary general conference that was being held on the 24th of October 2024. So he says the same gentleman that was fired one was protecting Mausa by the time he held what he alleges to say was an illegal general conference of the Patriotic Front, where the Patriotic Front fights and confusion started from. But today he's been fired. And he puts up an article going further. And then Chief Etayari was also weighed in. He says, finally, this man was like a virus in the police. So he's simply endorsing the decision by the president to fire the Deputy Inspector General of Police, and says, let this be a warning to Mr. Musamba, that's Chief Etayari. Also, pull up your socks. You are not untouchable. You are messing up things for Hichilema with your braggadocious behavior as if you are a cadre. So he says not only has it happened to his deputy IG, the IG himself is also at risk, according to Chief Etayari, if he does not change. No wonder you are attracting attention, and obviously with regard to the UN Human Rights Commission there. Then it also goes further to say, do not ignore the voice of the public lawyer, meaning himself. He calls himself a public lawyer there. So simply celebrating President Hakainde Hichilema's decision to fire the deputy IG. What is Dr. Nevas Mumba put up a statement to say the United Party for National Development is not abusing human rights. Patriotic Front just trying to paint Zambia black. So as you may be aware, the UN should be like, this is their fifth day, if I'm not mistaken, going nationwide, doing an investigation in Zambia with regard to the state of human rights. So MMD leader Nevas Mumba says the claim by former ruling party members that the United Party for National Development administration is abusing human rights is a strategy to deflect the fight against corruption. So he says it's simply a fight against corruption that President Hakainde is doing, which is being regarded as human rights abuse by the Patriotic Front. And then Catholic raised concern that the proximity to Hakainde blinding nuncio. So there's been two factions within the Catholic Church. So that's where that news is coming from the mass newspaper. And then in the real times, the Ministry of Health projects manager nabbed, charged with offense offense, some involved in theft and money laundering of over 4 million kwacha there. Ministry of Health has been in scandals, for crying out loud. Eesh, man. Seems like there's a lot of money that they receive and they misappropriate it. So they're talking about 4 million kwacha there in this instance. The Daily Nation say no plot to tarnish Zambia's image. So Brian Munduvile disputes assertions by Cornelius Mweta and Kutuke Imenda that the opposition is tarnishing Zambia's human rights record, accusing the United Party for National Development Administration of having fractured the country's image by its propensity to arrest and detain, victimize and harass the opposition. So he says, no, they're just representing what is on the ground and not tarnish the Zambians' image. And then suing government has annoyed UPND, expelled official there. What else? Then Boma Lusambo is also in the news. Well, that's the news, ladies and gentlemen.